Now, the big four, which of course are the top three in the world, plus Jonny Clayton, all through to the third round, although they all face varying levels of scares in the second round. Which of the four, though, would you say is most likely or looks most likely to lift the trophy after Christmas?
I think I'm going to stick with the tip I had at the start of the tournament, and that is Gerwyn Price. But considering what we've just seen from Jonny Clayton in the last 15, 20 minutes, I think his case has grown a lot stronger, hasn't it? And yes, he was 2-1 down to Keane Barry, who was producing some unbelievable finishing, both players finishing up with just the 5-ton plus finishes each. But the way he turned that game round, he was 2-1 down, lost the opening leg of that fourth set and reels off 6 legs, averaging around 113, 114 for those last 6 legs, was pretty special stuff. And this is someone that has had such a great year on the tour, winning all these titles on TV. But as far as Ali Pali goes, that's not somewhere where we've seen him produce his best darts. But 103 average, and the way that he finished the game when he was up against it, that's a big tick in the box for me. And the next round, the last 32, that's the round that he's gone out in the past. That's the furthest he's got. That's going to be the big hurdle for me if he can get over that one, get to the furthest that he's ever gone. And I think he'll take plenty of confidence from what he's done tonight when he's had to come from behind to beat someone playing as well as Keane Barry did. 95, almost 96 average from him, who should be really proud of himself, what he's been able to do on the Ali Pali stage this year. But yeah, I think Jonny Clayton has got to be fancying his chances even more so now after coming through that first one. And Gerwyn Price as well. He was a set down, but produced some superb stuff. The 130 finish was, the amount of pressure that there is for a defending champion on that opening night at Ali Pali to get through and keep your title defence going beyond that first hurdle. There's a lot on his shoulders, but he produced it, didn't he? 101 average, came through it 3-1, some big shots when he needed to. I still think I'm going to go with Gerwyn Price at this moment in time, but from what I've seen from the other of the big three, the big four, Jonny Clayton's got to be right up there. Peter Wright, it was an okay performance from him. He wasn't really tested by Ryan Meikle, unfortunately, in that one. We were more interested in seeing what fancy dress he was going to turn up in, because he always tries to outdo himself each year with the festive fancy dress for his first game. But he's got over that first hurdle. Michael van Gerwen as well, dropping the first set to Chaz Barstow, but he came through it. The big four all through to the last 32. But I'm sticking with Gerwyn Price for now. But Jonny Clayton has definitely gone up in my estimations as well as a potential winner again.
Yeah, but unfortunately, he has no chance to win it because we both tipped him to win the title. So I guess whoever's most likely to lift the trophy or looks most likely to lift the trophy is whoever we're least likely to say right now. So I guess it's Peter Wright then? I know. I think I also can't change away from Gerwyn Price from what I saw, especially after how poor he was in the first set and how everything seemed to be going against him. But he stayed true. He believed in himself, and he lifted his game at the right times and got himself back into it. You mentioned that 130 out. We'll see what happens over the next couple weeks, but not as big yet as Peter Wright's against Noel Malcolm a couple years ago. But if he does go on to retain the trophy, it will be one of the biggest second round checkouts we've ever seen, just because it did swing that match. And Richie Eddowes played really well. In the end, he didn't have the game to match Gerwyn Price, because almost no one would have had the game to match Gerwyn Price after that first set. Jonny Clayton, though, that was the performance so far of the tournament, because Keane Barry didn't do anything wrong until he just ran out of steam after Jonny Clayton's 150 checkout. But maybe that one, if Jonny Clayton goes on to win the trophy, we can mention that one as well. But Jonny Clayton just was unbelievable those last 6 legs, and he wasn't all that poor before that. It was just Keane Barry was throwing 100 average at him, and Keane Barry was doing more than Jonny Clayton. That's why he was up 2-1 at the right times. But those last 6 legs, averaging 113, starting with that 150 out and just finishing with a pair of double 12s in the last 2 legs. Every dart, every visit was a great visit, and every dart, or almost every dart, seemed like it was bang in the middle of the treble or double. That's the focus and the concentration that Jonny Clayton showed to get back in that match. And if he can keep that up for the rest of this tournament, he's just as likely as Gerwyn Price. And assuming they get to play each other in the quarterfinal, that could be one of the great matches ever on the Alexandra Palace stage. Peter Wright, I think you said it best, Ryan Meikle just didn't show up for that. So Peter Wright didn't have much to do other than show off what he was wearing in. And one of the sets ran a little close, but beyond that, Peter Wright never really was in danger. And then Michael van Gerwen did not look himself for much of that match. The 3-1 score, especially on the finishing, I should say. And he gave away that first set. And that's, what I've been saying about that fear of winning, that fear of the finish line. Okay, it was only a set finish line, but other than 1 or 2 of those 9 darts at double, they were not well thrown. They were missing by a lot. They were missing in ways that were blocking him. And that's not Michael van Gerwen. He doesn't miss doubles and clumps. And when he does, you can usually say they were well thrown darts. But he found it at the right times, like I said, for everyone else, and he got over the line. And having a match like that will help him as he tries to retain this trophy, to know that he can be playing poorly, he can be in a deficit of his own creation, but that he can still get himself back in and finish and win in the end fairly comfortably. So it was a good experience for van Gerwen, I think, to get this match. But there are still a lot of questions, and that's why I'm not changing my pick quite yet. I'm going that Gezi is still the most likely.